threat now to the nation. And I think President Ruto is doing some preparations to making sure that the Ebola patients are well taken. Ebola patients were to be built for a center place where they're supposed to be quarantined for a while before interacting with that is the best thing to do, so that Ebola is not something that can be taken lightly. Ebola is something that is so serious and can bring another maybe if they detect the Ebola virus in a patient, he or she should be taken for quarantine. Maybe traveling left, right, center cannot be affected. But I think the government is in control. The US also are doing something about it, and they've created awareness on the science, and people should just take precaution. People should just know in case of the signs that maybe the signs, if they appear, they start feeling the signs, they should any health care that is near, so that they get treatment. But so far so good. I don't see, I don't think if we have any case in Kenya right now, we should just proceed that way. People should take precaution and make sure that Ebola is controlled and taken care of. Having the cognizance to the protest by the civil society, they actually say that can we reject Ebola by activism, or there are structured models that should be put in place so that we can be able to really prevent the spread of virus? Or if in case there is detection of this virus, there can be health precautions or health process taken. Is the activism important in this process? What I can say is that activism is important, but cannot help us curb the situation at hand, because activism makes what is happening, and it makes the people of Kenya, generally worldwide, just it gives the people now that idea of what is happening, and maybe the notion of knowing that now this is what is happening, and this is what personally as an individual I should do. And I don't think if rejecting Ebola is something that can really work, because we cannot reject by word of mouth. Making sure that you are very keen on your health, making sure that you detect in case of any emergency, in case you detect a sign that maybe you can be having Ebola, you go for medical attention before it starts spreading to other people. But rejecting Ebola by word of mouth, I don't think all the healthcare facilities are equipped with medicine, and also structures are put in place so that Ebola is curbed before it really messes them. As a journalist who is very, very much exposed to the political side and political things, when should we draw political lines between the health aspect and the national business done by government and USA? Some are even saying, oh, you can sell Kenya to the devil, quote unquote, some of the political class. We draw the political engagement and the issues to do with the national interest, like Ebola, which is perhaps affecting Congo. Currently, we hear some news that Uganda has detected some kind of report. They have actually gotten some report about Ebola in the country. When should we draw political line when it comes to these issues? Like I said, Joseph, I think we were telling stories before we came on live about our President Ruto, and about the 1 point something billion that should be brought to Kenya, so that the embassy or the quarantine center for patients of Ebola. I think when it comes to health matters, that is where we should draw the line,
These are some of the things that we should not politicize at all.
For sure.
Because health issues and politics are two different things. When it comes to our health as the people of Kenya, or as the people of this nation, that is where now politicians should draw the line. They should now know that now this is something that is serious, that can kill several people. People can lose their lives in a single, in a twinkle of an eye. So bringing politics into health issues, I don't think if it's the right thing to do, and I think President Ruto should take action, or maybe should direct the nation on what to do. Bringing 1.7 billion that the political class are talking about, probably for them they're seeing a business opportunity. But now, as a common mwananchi, we are threatened. We are feeling threatened because of this thing. Because number one, this 1.7 billion, probably they'll say that they'll build maybe a quarantine center or somewhere that these patients are being taken for treatment or quarantine, but then it won't work. I remember in 2020 when we were having the coronavirus, there were a lot of money that were being dispensed by the World Health Organization, but people were really not getting these services. People were not getting the money that was distributed now to curb the situation, and also to help those who are not maybe able to get treatment, or maybe to pay for the treatment, because it was expensive. It was not that cheap. Same can happen to the Ebola patients. So that money, if at all it's being given now to Kenya, let it be given so that it can help the patients that are suffering from the disease. Let not the political class now take advantage of this money, maybe to have their business, to do their businesses, or maybe have their own nitty-gritties, or those fishy things that they do.
For sure.
So that is when we should now draw the line. The political class should know that when it comes to health issues, that is something that we should not even negotiate about. We should draw the line between politics and health issues.
Yes.
Thank
you so much, Cliff. And to the inside part of the Star newspaper, there is Party Hoping Rocks political outfits ahead of polls. Or it recognizes that there is issue that is attached to the DCP party.
Yes.
They nominated Mathew to be the Secretary General, and yet Mathew is still a UDA member.
Yes.
Now, looking at that, is that violation of political party act, or is it showing some contempt to some laws that have been endorsed in the country?
I think maybe it's a violation of a political right, but also it depends with the political now the individual, now like Mathew. I don't know if he has agreed with the nomination, or. And personally, what I can say, my own opinion is that I don't think if probably he's decided now to leave UDA, and probably he's decided maybe, and he has not just made it clear to the UDA party that he's leaving. And for you to be nominated in a certain political party, that means probably you have shown interest, and maybe you have had conversations before your nomination. And I believe Mathew, probably he's on the exit, maybe from the UDA party to the next party that he's been nominated in. And so I believe it's something that he know, and that's why I don't think if it's really a violation of a political party, maybe rules and regulation or something. I believe Mathew knows. Yes, I think he knows what he wants, and probably he's seen probably the direction that he wants to take. Maybe he wants to join now the DCP party officially, and he wants to exit the UDA party, because I believe, I know there are several people by the way who have left UDA. Probably they've not just announced. There are people who have exited. There are people probably who have joined, and so it all lies on an individual. Probably if he is decided now he or she is leaving the party, then well and good. So I don't think if maybe it's a violation, maybe to the UDA people, because if you leave a party probably without maybe officially exiting, probably that one can be a violation of
the political parties regulation.
Yes.
And now, you know, right now is the Secretary General of another outfit and still he holds that membership of another outfit. Do you see that one member cannot be in two parties at a go, because on this party of DCP is the Secretary General and also on the side of UDA, it still says that he's a member.
He's a member.
Yeah.
Now that is where the problem comes. I don't know if it is right to maybe participate to have maybe dual citizenship in two parties.
Yes.
But I don't think if then that means then he's not sure of what he wants. And then now to make it worse, he's holding office in both parties. Then that means there's somewhere that things are not going right. Or maybe that means actually now that brings me to now violation of a political party. Yes, because I don't think if yes.
And now in the inner part of the standard, why lobby group wants basic education PS be talk sent home, because some of them are actually crying that, you know, the basic education is only seek answers, but the answers are not yet coming forth, and therefore they are advocating for this PS. They are into organization. There are some observations that Kenyans have made regarding the basic education to you on your evaluation. What can you say?
Currently, I think our education system, thing when it was introduced, and I don't think if it was welcomed in a very good way, because parents were really complaining that it is a curriculum that is expensive, that are not getting into terms with it, because we have schools in interior places that probably they don't have enough facilities or enough classrooms, or maybe they don't have like textbooks, because you understand CBC entails a lot that the pupils use during their learning process.
For sure.
There are schools that probably have not maybe of the curriculum that we are having currently, and so by these people maybe asking the PS maybe to evacuate, they must have seen the unrest that is happening, that is going around the schools. Probably there's something that is not going on well, because most of the schools currently the students have been chased home because of the unrest that is currently ongoing.
For sure.
The other day we lost 16 students, which is so sad, and I don't know what the PS or the government has done about it. Probably the families that lost their loved ones, maybe compensation or something like that. But even if they are compensated, then we cannot bring back the lost lives. And so the PS, I think probably there's something that he's not doing right.
For sure.
To make sure that the security of the students, and also the access to these educational facilities, in as much as the CBC or the CBE is concerned, probably he should do something.
For sure.
Yeah.
Having the observation on the Utumishi High School, girls' school in Gilgil, how it was actually built, and everything to do with the security of the students. Some of the safety at all, in case fire breaks out.
Yes.
That means these people are really saying that these are the grounds in which the PS should basically go home. Leads to the pressure to pile against him.
I think I agree with that. I think those are some of the pressures that are really building up, so that probably the PS should Our political class, these people sometimes they don't care. When they're elected or maybe nominated to fill these offices, their work is to make sure that maybe students and the people, but sometimes they tend to forget and maybe do the things that maybe are of their interest. And so looking at the dormitory, how they were built, you know, in a school, this is how the dormitories were structured to be built, so that when in case of any fire outbreak or maybe any emergency, the students or the pupils can leave the premises without having any injury. There's supposed to be emergency exits. They're supposed to be open or built. They were built in such a manner that in case of anything, actually, most of the students that lost their lives, probably you can find that maybe there was a stampede or something, because the students probably they were congested in one dormitory, and I saw they were having cubes. And you know, when cubes, when the dormitories that are built in such like structure, they are not
okay.
And so this the education system should check into that, and most of the parents were even saying that the boarding thing should be banned, so that the students can now maybe leave their home to school and also back. There's a time that there was that conversation about maybe banning the boarding thing, but then it again disappeared. I don't know how the conversation went, but some parents were like, this boarding thing now should be.
Live on Cityscope TV. Scope Conversation is on air, and we are essentially bringing to you live a discussion on matters newspaper. Are the top headlines of the Daily Nation, so that we can be able to get you updated on what exactly revolves around newspaper. This is Scope Conversation. So go to our Facebook page, Cityscope TV, and you can also follow us on Twitch. That is where our website are actually there. You can actually go on to the Cityscope TV TikTok, so that you can be able to follow us and get the live updates on matters politics and also newspaper review. This is the Scope Conversation, and in just a bit we are getting to the Daily Nation. What exactly front page of the Daily Nation? The front page of the Daily Nation is that the Utumishi fire tragedy, 8 students arrested in arson probe. Basically taken to the court. They were taken to Naivasha court so that they can be able to be executed by the law in Kenya. What does that come into the picture?
Happened. I don't know what the government is trying to do by maybe arresting the children. Probably of course there must be investigations. And something that is so sad is that these young girls, the eight young girls who brought the fire incident, I don't know what was in their minds while they were doing all this, because the CCTV footages that were moving around clearly how they executed the plan and how they began with everything from scratch, from when they came out from their beds and maybe started maybe doing, I don't know where they found books, and maybe it was a plan that still people are still wondering how this happened. And I'm interested to know what was in their minds while they were doing this thing, because I think that is just a demonic act, and that is how probably most people are seeing it, because I don't think probably if they were in their right state of mind, because you cannot just wake up in the morning and in the middle of the night then plan maybe to bring to cause such a tragedy, because probably we just thank God that several lives were saved, but issue. Probably all of them could have lost their lives, and by the time these ladies were doing this, probably also they were ready probably to lose their lives also, or maybe I don't know. I don't know if that was they were sent maybe to sacrifice or something. We are still wondering. We still don't know what ran into their mind. But it's something that is so sad, and probably the government probably are doing investigations to know why they did that. And I don't think if it's wrong to probably take them to court. They should themselves and also tell the government the reason as to why that one happened.
For sure.
So that at least we know.
This is a heinous act. If perhaps gauge can be put to measure or commensurate the kind of damage that this kind of act really resulted to. Where do we have societal gaps? Because if such characters or kind of things that are actually seen in our children, do we have societal gaps in terms of parenting, in terms of teacher relationship? Because these kind of things, teachers could have curbed it. Parents at home, they really play a very big role in shaping the culture and the behavior of our children. And then in our general society, do they see wrong examples from other people doing such such kind of engagement in society? Do you have societal gaps owing to organizations to this kind of act that these children are
say is that that one is so true. Yesterday I was going through my phone status, and I have a friend of mine who posted a small plastic chair that these children are bought for when they're young. And then he gave a caption that was saying that this is where the misparenting and the whole thing begin. When the child is being bought for this seat and given the remote, and now the child cannot be controlled. The parents may be saying now, no, don't do that to him or her, he or she will cry. Now that is when the misparenting now comes in. And I believe all this is now the beginning, because they do say charity begins at home. And when you cannot control your child, and when you cannot bring up a child in a way, in a respectful manner, if you cannot bring up a child in a way that the society can accommodate, and then that's why we are having such characters. And I believe this is a result of misparenting. The parents are now not taking up their role according to how they should do it. I don't know, the society also is now becoming to be very toxic in such a manner that even the parents don't have time for their own kids.
For sure.
Yes, because of work, because of probably other activities. Mostly the parents nowadays, if you look at the way they bring up their children, you wonder because now they're not disciplined the way they used to be disciplined. They're not being taught the morals and the good values that probably if you do this, these are the consequences.
For sure.
If you do this and this and this, you have to face a certain consequence. The children are just being raised in a way that is not pleasing at all, and the society is also raising up children that if we don't care, if we don't be very careful, and then we are really moving to a very bad state.
A very bad state. For sure. That is actually, parenting is really much critical in terms of shaping up the societal order and societal behavior. And essentially, to some areas, is a Sifuna wave rattles old guard in Western. Owing to organizations, how Sifuna is really moving. The syllabus is really running at a
very fast speed.
Very fast speed.
And actually, the Western people are now, this is now their guy. This is now like their kingpin now.
For sure.
Because the way he's now moving, and the rallies that Sifuna is holding, not like the other ones that we had the other day, which we'll get to discuss maybe later.
For sure.
We'll get to discuss. But Sifuna is doing a good thing, and what really impresses me with the Linda Mwananchi thing is because they are not criticizing anybody. They've not told us what they want, what they really want, because each and every person in that I don't want to call it a political party, in that faction have their own interest.
For sure.
But what they are driving, what they really want to do away with is bad governance, and the life of a common mwananchi should be comfortable. The life should be in a very comfortable way that everybody can afford.
For sure.
The prices of fuel prices and prices of goods and commodities should come down.
For sure.
In a manner that every other common mwananchi can afford, and also bad governance, which is also affecting us now as people of Kenya.
For sure.
That is something that they really don't want, and they are fighting to make sure that probably in the next coming general election, people can vote in people who are of like-minded and people who are having interest of helping wananchi.
For sure.
Yes.
And now looking at this kind of political wave that has really come with a very big force or a very humongous force in Western, you know, like the likes of Mudavadi, with Tangula, the old guards, like, for example, before Wakuli, they used to be. What lessons do the big political figures learn from Sifuna? Because it's like Mudavadi and Wetangula, they are now hanging on the ground that is not safe for them.
I believe that is now, actually, that is very clear now. And what I want to say is that now the older politicians now, this is a lesson to them that we should not limit even the young politicians, and we should not only believe that only the old politicians are the people that can take this country to another level.
For sure.
And I'm glad that whatever the team is trying to at least instill into the people is that even the young people can do these things.
For sure.
And from the very past, during the regime of Akina before Yakoli, the regime of Akina Wetangula, the rest, the old. Now we are having our party leader here. These things, it's not all about the old only.
For sure.
Because we've realized that these people, there are some of them who get into politics for their own benefit. By the time they get there, now they start prioritizing their own priorities. They start doing their own businesses, and they forget about the people who elected them, who voted them into the office. If you look at these areas where these old politicians have served, then no much development that are happening, because probably they'll come and launch maybe a 500-kilometer road or something, then they start relaxing because probably they've done something. They'll probably give handouts, and during the election time, after they are elected in or they are voted in, they leave to Nairobi. They actually, even in some parts of the country, there are people who are complaining that they've never even seen their governor, they've never seen their MP, they've never seen probably the MCA, because probably there are people now, they are old, they don't want to work a lot, they don't want to be engaged in some of these activities, because after all they've made their own money. And I believe they do say that after using a lot of money during the campaigns, the first 1 year of their staying in office is always making sure that they secure the bag. That money that they use during campaign is back.
It's back.
Dabo Wino, Akina Sifuna, Akina Ndindi Nyoro, the people, they have the interest of the people. They have the interest of the people. They want to see the people living a very comfortable life. They want to see the people have not been comfortable with for the longest time. And the next general election, the narrative is going to be different. We're going to be speaking of a very different thing. And actually, you've seen there are people who we've interviewed here, very young politicians who have now emerged, that are coming out to be very vibrant, and they really want to take up the leadership role.
For sure.
To make sure that we have now bring back Kenya to where it's supposed to be.
For sure.
Let us now embrace that. Let us embrace the young leadership as Kina Sifuna wants the country to. Let us change the narrative. Let us just do an overhaul from the top to the bottom. And the few people maybe who we've seen that have been delivering, for them we don't have any problem with them. But now the people who have been there but they're doing nothing. We are just, we just want to make sure that they leave.
They leave.
And if they don't leave, probably we'll let them go, because 5 years is not forever.
It's not forever.
It's not forever. If we want to make it this coming general election, but the next one, which will be 2032, then now we'll take up the role. The young people will now dominate everything.
Everything,
yes.
For sure.
Yes.
I don't know, in our conversation that is upcoming, is that we are actually going to put our focus on the ODM party, how things are running. There's a difference between two factions, the Linda Mwananchi faction, and there is something that Gladys Wanga said that no longer should we talk about.
They dropped the name. They dropped the name from Linda Ground, and now they want to focus now on the ODM. Yes. And now we'll get to know why.
We'll get to know why, as far as it's concerned. After short break, we are returning After short break, we are returning back on the conversation. Stay tuned. It's Joseph Okuma. I have my counterpart here who is very smart, very intelligent, very exposed.
And my name is Clifford Ogonda.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Coming back after a short break.
Okay.
Internet sema
No.
Sasa bamba inacheza alafu mnapiga
Kidogo tu tutengeneze hii maneno.
Thank you so much for tuning in. This is COP Conversation live on Cityscope TV. We are glad that you are with us from where we started to where we are, because you are so important to us as far as all that which was actually run and managed by the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who died last year and buried eventually. After his death, there has been division raging. This made them to do a really campaign rally in Kirembe on Sunday, 31st of May 2020. The chairperson of ODM, Gladys Wanga, who is also Homa Bay County Governor, she read some of the resolutions that ODM will remain one under the party leadership of she drums support for the broad-based arrangement, saying that ODM is in the broad-based arrangement. And number 3, many resolutions she read at the rally. And that's why we want you to understand what these resolutions mean, and is it right for a political party to do a resolution at the rally? Is it in order? And has it been there before when the Prime Minister Raila Odinga used to do his political rally? Did he read resolutions at the public political rally. And that is the question that we're asking you. Are you in support of how ODM is being run or managed? Are you in support of how ODM is being run and managed? Another faction led by Edwin Sifuna, Nairobi Senator, and James Orengo, Governor of Siaya, and Babu Wino Embakasi East Member of Parliament, they did their political rally in Machakos, and essentially some of the issues they raised, they talked about their stand against the regime of Kenya Kwanza. They say that the health system has fallen out of Sifuna's declaration, and also Sifuna said that they don't support a government that abducts their youths. They don't support a government that can even sell Kenyans to the devil. That is what Sifuna said while in Machakos. And that is what really makes us to come to you this morning with this conversation, the state of ODM, how things are. The resolutions read by Gladys Wanga in Kisumu County, Kirembe grounds. How important is this resolution? Saying that, you know what, we are all around party leader Burudinga. Does it mean actually anybody that declares that he's a party leader should be treated as somebody who is trading a ground that is not recognized by ODM? What did this resolution by declaration that we all rally around or rally behind Burudinga mean?
I don't think if probably that is the right thing to do, and to me that one shows a lot of disorganization, because first of all, you know, this party was grounded in the roots of Baba, and before Baba left, there was some union, there was some organization within the party, there was a lot of order within the party. But now Gladys Wanga is now bringing things that probably the party leader himself should be talking about. As Gladys Wanga as the chair of the party, I don't think having resolutions that everybody should rally behind Oburu or Oginga is the right thing to do, because you cannot force your fans on which direction to follow. It's the people. It all lies in the hands of the people to decide whether now to rally behind Oburu, Oginga, or maybe to go the other direction. And for that matter, these people, the ODM party now brought, when they had, I think the party chairperson, or there was the one that announced that now they have left that the leader ground tag, that moving forward they should not now be identified as I believe that which that one maybe rebranding as ODM, which that one has been, is not bad, but now maybe reading resolution, I don't see the need of the resolutions. Their fans and the ODM fans are brought together and they are told now this is the way to go, because in the first place the party leader said the other day that he will not be the flag bearer, and that one leaves also the fans or maybe the followers of ODM at crossroad. Now which way, because now negotiate with the president now moving forward, so that at least they remain in government, or maybe just go for dropped that seat. Right now we don't have a flag bearer in ODM, and so I believe putting the party in order and maybe a presidential seat, or maybe we secure that seat when it comes to the general election. And so I believe that is what should happen. We should rally behind somebody who
interview that there were some money given to different leaders to really mobilize people from places, Siaya, Homa Bay, Kisumu, rather here, Kisumu locally, and also Migori. And he said that there are people that were ferried even as far as from Migori. What does that mean?
Actually, during what happened after the death of Baba,
Yes.
there are a lot of people who even now were associated with ODM. They lost. Be a member of a certain party, you have to register. And we had several people registering from ODM. And currently that one happened. We saw a lot of that in Nyanza region. And Nyanza, where the ODM always dwells. And that is why when they were beginning this rally, they brought it to Kisumu, because now this is where myself, I was on the roads during that day, and there were a lot of school buses that were ferrying people from Migori, Siaya, Homa Bay. There are a lot of tractors within the road. There are a lot of, yes. The tractors came all the way from Migori. People left Migori probably very late in the night. The people who started traveling that day at around midnight, because you understand tractors don't move in the speed that these other cars move in. So you have to start your journey mapema kidogo.
Tractors.
Yes. So the people are ferried from all over.
Okay.
And what Professor Ojenda said, that is, I think that is true, because it happened. It happened.
Does it mean that now people are being given that kind of pressure or being paid so they can come to the rallies? What message does it signify? Because initially Raila Odinga used to come to Kisumu or any part of Nyanza. He could not actually do any rally frequently in Nyanza. What he could just do, it was a last minute campaign.
Yes.
Telling his people that are reminding them, they know we have elections and we have this as ODM. But the frequent kind of rally that is being done by the ODM brigade after the death of Raila Odinga is really showing that somehow ODM is losing grip of the people.
Yes.
Paying them money, ferrying them with the buses or the tractors, whichever means they can use. The question is ODM losing ground in Nyanza?
That is true. ODM, currently the grounds in Nyanza is 50-50.
Yes.
And for that rally to happen, or maybe for this rally maybe to have this kind of multitude, ferrying people, number one, took place. Number two, there were people who were paid.
Okay.
There's money, and there are people who are saying, I don't know how true is this, but there are people who are saying even the president was involved in distributing this money. The president sponsored some of the political leaders because they were being given in groups. There are people now, let's say for example, there are people from Gladys Wanga's side, or people from people maybe from within Kisumu, maybe Oron, maybe we have Professor Ojenda, maybe the aspirants who want to maybe have various seats in the next coming general election. They were given money, and now they were distributing their funds, and that is now where the buses come in and everything. That is how they were organizing all the whole thing. And that is why we say that ODM now grounds in Nyanza is 50-50. They are losing the ground, because I believe if it were not the ferrying that happened, I don't think if that rally could have been successful. And I'm afraid to say that I don't think if that rally could have happened, or maybe if they could have had such a multitude. Yes, and that's why the team should organize themselves well, so that at least for them to have the followers or the fans as they used to have during when Baba was alive, they just have to be organized.
Okay.
They just have to be organized.
And the question that I'm asking, leadership that is being implemented, the style of leadership implemented by Gladys Wanga, Oburu Odinga, and the officials of ODM currently, is it satisfying? Because somehow, how is it playing out?
We can see the results. The results actually it won't last long before the results are officially out, because I believe the leadership that currently is within that ODM, I think that is why even the Siaya governor right now is calling himself a de facto party leader.
Okay.
Because number one, they don't agree with the policies that this other team is the agendas they are pushing. You know, the only thing that these people are disagreeing in is the principles and probably the agendas that they are pushing. That is the only thing that is happening between this. If they can come together and maybe speak about maybe the one term or the two term thing, and I think we can just have the ODM the way it was. Yes, I believe that is what is happening, and the current leadership that is between Wanga and the party leader himself, and maybe the rest of because there are people probably that there are people who are having interests. And because if the party leader stands to speak, he speaks about his own agenda. When Wanga decides to speak, she also speaks about probably the thing that he was reading about maybe rallying behind Oburu Odinga and everything. So there are chaos. There's some kind of discord within them. There's some kind of discord within them, and that they're trying to cover that they're okay. But I don't think if the leadership is doing well in ODM currently.
Currently, people are asking, where's Junaid Mohammed in these rallies?
But they have not seen him for quite some time. Even the rally that happened in Kisumu, he was not there. Sorry. The last time I saw Junaid in this rally was it in Mombasa?
In Migori.
Was it in Migori? Yeah, in Migori. Yeah, that is the last time we saw Junaid. And Junaid, during that rally, people said a lot of things between Junaid and the party leader, because party leader was being yes,
it was not in the scene.
It was not also in the scene, and after some time he was I think he said he was in Kisumu playing golf and everything, that he is fine and everything was fine. I believe probably maybe Junaid just decided to take some break, and maybe we never know. Probably they have disagreed or something, and maybe he can resurface maybe later. Yes, when things are now.
Maybe he's playing a coach style.
Yes.
Of doing things. Now looking at Mbadi is currently in these rallies.
Yes.
And constitutionally, a civil servant should not be seen in political public gatherings.
Exactly.
Does it show that Mbadi is violating the principles of the law? And secondly, why is Mbadi so much in ODM affairs?
Actually, like we were talking before we came live off camera, we were saying Mbadi has turned to be a political preacher or something. Because most of these rallies, when Mbadi stands to speak, he's always mad. He's always mad at whatever is happening and talking ill about the Linda Mwananchi faction, that is Kina Sifuna and everything. He's just mad of everything. I don't know his strategies, and I don't know where now he's heading now as a political leader, because number one, Mbadi is a CS. He's a cabinet secretary, and is in charge of treasury, the national treasury. And right now, as we speak, I think we are not officially in a campaign mode. And that means Mbadi is still a public servant who is still in office and working. And probably him now, I don't know. I think it's kind of violation of maybe a political party rules or something, but I don't know how they're taking that, because there's nothing that is being done by there about it. Probably as you speak, even the president himself, it's like he's shifted in a campaign mood. the whole country right now,
Is in
it's
campaign
like
mode.
they're in the campaign mode. People are now they've stopped now maybe serving the people, maybe doing whatever they should be doing in their various offices. They're now on top of the vehicles and in podiums, speaking politics and maybe talking ill of other people and such.
Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Scope Conversation Morning, and we are glad to have you around and also get your views. And keep on watching us on the YouTube channels, Cityscope TV, and also follow us on Facebook, Cityscope TV, and also go to our Twitch on our website there, and you will be able to get all these that we roll in Cityscope TV. My name has been Joseph Okuma. Having you around has been a great pleasure. Let's see each other tomorrow again.
My name is Clifford Oguna. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.